Hello and welcome back to the channel. Ziku Nakamura here along with
Alice Rose.
Yep, and we're here for another episode of Minecraft Storytime. For the story for today, well, we've got a couple of them. First one, actually let me start with the thing. It's r/funnystories. We're going to be doing a couple of funny ones today. Or at least we think they're funny. Comment down below if you're enjoying this, and subscribe and all that shit. But anyway, mine is a resident at work fell in love with me. And it goes as follows. My wife, me, and our boyfriend all work in the same long-term care center for the elderly. There's a resident we called the Groaner. This resident is a permanent in our facility. He's wheelchair-bound, extremely suffering from dementia, and very anti-men. He called our boyfriend bad name and accused him of a bad thing that never happened. On my wife's first day, he stopped him and said, "Look, just take whatever money they're giving you and leave me the hell alone." These two stories made me very nervous to meet the Groaner. On my first day, my trainer pointed him out and retold my wife's story to him. Of him. He rolled up to me and said in a quiet voice, "I know you're not gonna hurt me, but some people will think you're going to hurt them." After, I don't know. I'm not sure I get it either. But anyway, after that, I noticed whenever I turned around, there he was, watching me do my job. He would mutter little things and try to hold a conversation with me, but a few phrases from my first couple conversations with the Groaner stuck out to me. I'm trying to figure out how to smile, and I want to disappear. He pointed my wife out to me and asked who they were. I told him they were my wife. He told me good luck and informed me he would keep an eye on them. We have a large solarium dining room in our facility, and I was sweeping and mopping it. I left to change my mop water and came back to be informed by the activities director that he asked if I wanted help and then called the director rude for not helping me. Oh, this guy must have a crush. I was told that his favorite color is red, so my bright red hair made him feel affection toward me. I grabbed my bag and went to leave, making sure to tell him I was leaving. He said stay. I told him I couldn't and that I needed to go home. He asked me if I was coming back tomorrow and cheered up when I said yes. Today was a bad day for me, and it was showing during my work. He came up to me and bumped me with his wheelchair to get my attention. I spoke with him for a few minutes and then tried to back my maintenance cart up so I could go clean. I realized my cart would get stuck in his wheels if I continued, so I tried to go forward and around him. He turned his chair and stuck his legs in my cart so I couldn't go anywhere with it. He said I was sweet and asked if I'd go to dinner with him Friday night at an old fancy restaurant in our town. I giggled in response, and then he asked if he could sniff my hair because it probably smelled like strawberries to match the color of my cheeks. Of course, I said, "No, you can't." At this point, dementia brain took over, and he changed the topic to his gay son. He told me he has a son-in-law he never met, so I said, "That's cool, so your son's gay?" Only to be hit with a, "No, he just liked boys, and that's okay. I'm mad I never met my son-in-law." Knowing the things he said to my boyfriend, I was confused, but brushed it off. He's very dismissive of my wife, and now lights up when I come around. Well, a homophobic resident is in love with a trans female-to-male person. Yikes.
Wait, so he has a wife and a boyfriend?
Yeah, it sounds like they have a triad or a V or something like that.
So, when the old guy pointed over and said, who are they?
Mm-hmm.
Were they talking about just one person?
Or
were they talking about, both of...
He was probably talking about both of them.
But you only answered about one.
Well, I mean, it can be tough for polyamorous people to tell people that they're polyamorous without becoming ridiculed or shamed. Which it, honestly, doesn't matter. Love is love, so do what you do. But anyway, It's your turn to read a story.
On hide and seek with the janitor. So, 12-year-old me and some friends were at this party thing this weekend. This party thing on the weekend, celebrating this thing. It was at our school in the school hall, and most of the other doors of the school were locked. Me and my friends got very bored through it and thought it would be fun if we tried to get into the parts of the school we weren't supposed to be in. We thought that the entire entrance to the field was accessible, since the gate was open to allow food trucks to get into the hall. Carefully, we all snuck through the gate and onto the field. Now to get through the field to the main building, we had to find a way to open the large glass doors. Since it was a school, not some properly secured place, we all decided to yank the door open at the same time, and to our surprise, it worked. From there, we ran into the main corridor and hell broke out. Everybody split up and ran around classrooms and stuff. One guy even started dancing in front of the janitor's window, apparently. But what I decided to do to be super cool is go to the toilet. So I asked my friend to go on the lookout. Sorry. To go look out to see if the janitor will come. And then I began to enter the cubicle. The toilets were right next to the corridor. And then we heard a massive oi. It was the janitor. The only exit was down at the other end of the corridor, and he was in between us and it. So me and my friend ran into the cubicle, panicked and scared for our lives. Instead of locking the door, I suggested that we leave it open ever so slightly so it wouldn't look suspicious. A few seconds later, we heard footsteps. He was walking down the toilet and checking cubicles. We were dead. I held my hand over my mouth so he wouldn't hear me breathe frantically. We heard him open 2 cubicles near us, and then we saw him walk by in the small gap we left open. Miraculously, he only checked the 2 and then went back. We didn't know what to do since he could be anywhere, and we need to get to the exit. So we said, "It's now or never," and bolted down the corridor next to the exit. The janitor was at the very end of the corridor, but we beat him to the exit. We had to jump the fence since the gate was locked, since all of our other friends had been chased out. It was the scariest and funniest moment of our lives.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, they really got away with it, didn't they?
Yeah.
At least
Barely,
yeah.
but yeah.
Shoot. That must have been tight when he was in the bathroom checking the cubicles. He did check the one. I wonder if the janitor was just trying to scare him.
Probably.
Because that's about all it takes for kids to leave, is to know that they've been found.
Or super close to being found.
Right. I mean, he said oi, so he saw somebody. The rest of them
guy
ditched.
dancing.
The rest of them were like, pew!
Mm-hmm.
And the two guys left were like, we need to go.
Yeah.
Thank you all so very much for joining us for this story time. We might come back to funny stories because, you know, it's not too bad. We got to, you know, do stuff. So, like the video, and we'll see you next time.
And stay out of schools. You don't need to be in there when you're not supposed to.
Don't be a homophobic grandpa.
What?
Bye!